Hey y'all, let's do a reading. I'm really excited to be done with whatever that is and to be done with the March readings for all you zodiac signs. They're out there. If you're watching this and your sign exists within the zodiac, it's there. Just look it up. Really amazing, really, really weird, powerful, really weird, amazing. Like it, they ran the gamut of sort of expectations and events. Let me just say that. Okay, but I'm really glad to be done with them because now we can go back to fun stuff. Um, if it were up to me, I wouldn't do any zodiac, to be honest. And I know that that's a very unpopular opinion, but I feel like it's very narrowing. And I feel also from my background in psychology, we're influenced by the things that we listen to. It's that self validating bias, that idea that if we identify with something, that we can then sort of manifest our way into that reality. I think we're bigger than our zodiac signs. I mean, if you look at your chart, it's much more than your sun sign, and I know most of you think that. But anyway, my point is, you lovely, lovely, lovelies, that I like doing fun stuff like 3 card, which is what we're going to do now. I also like being in daylight, which is what we're using now, which is my favorite. All right. We're using the deck of, what is this deck? It's not Curious Travels. Well, I forget. So as much as I want to start this video over, I'm not going to do it. Stay firm. Okay, 2 of Wands is on the bottom. Got the 4 of Wands, Strength, and Empress. Okay, whoever is watching this, whoever this is for, you have some very spicy, sexy energy coming to you. I don't know that you believe me because it seems like that well has run dry. It seems like you've given up all hope. It seems like there's not, but that's not true. That's absolutely not the case. Oh man, you've got some fun stuff happening here. I picked this deck for a reason. I don't know who needs to hear this. I know the age demographic of my average viewer, so it's somebody very specific. But when you do get your groove on, please be sure to use protection unless you want an unplanned pregnancy. That's all I'm going to say about that, because it could very, 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 very well happen right now or in the next little bit. Everybody's in sort of a different timeline. Anywho, if that's not a problem for you, but men and women, by the way, right? You don't want to knock anybody up that you don't want to knock up, right? Okay, just wanted to be clear. It's not just our responsibility. Okay, cool. Wow. Okay, so there's a in the midst of this sexy energy. It is partly spring. It is partly, we're feeling ourselves because the earth is feeling herself, or at least our part of the earth, right? Maybe not the southern hemisphere. I digress. This springtime energy is influencing our energies. Seasons in nature always does. But it's almost a little bit of, it's almost a little bit too much, but it's enticing. I'm very enticed by this energy. I think that there is a potential to see someone in a new light. And so this might be, you might encounter someone that you've met before that you either sort of shrugged off or you didn't take seriously. And suddenly they're looking pretty good. The timing, as well as what you need, as well as who they really are, and maybe you didn't see them before. Four of Wands, we have the bottom of the Queen of Swords. Knight of Wands, the Ace of Swords, and the Knight of Swords. Yeah, I don't think I have to tell you. I think I just have to, I don't think I have to give you advice here. I think you're going to act very quickly when it comes to this once passed over energy. I think you're going to act very quickly when you have the opportunity to make a move. Whether that is who you end up getting spicy with or not, at least it sort of opens the portal for those type of experiences. Why is strength here? Why is sexy strength here? Okay, we've got the Hierophant. We've got the Eight of Swords, the Three of Swords, and yeah, I feel like some of you are sort of overcoming a heartbreak, and like it's that rebound energy. It's that I am never so crude or crass in my entire life, but in the nomenclature, people say you have to get under someone to get over someone, right? Sorry, I would never say that in conversation. I don't know why. I just think it's very crude, but it is what it is, and that is the energy here. I'm sure I could find a more polite way to say it, which I will try to do, but because it's probably going to be coming up again and again the next couple weeks. But yeah, yeah. Oh, you guys, they're moving on is hard. I understand, and feeling yourself in that sort of new sexual energy can be kind of frightening sometimes, because number one, we don't want to get hurt again, right? You don't want to carry on the vestiges, the ghosts of this past relationship or your past expectations of love in general. You don't want to carry them on into another thing. You also don't want to catch feelings too fast. And you also, there's a lot of vulnerability and there's a lot of hurt that we take forward with us into those got to get under somebody to get over somebody energies. And a lot of the time, the collateral damage is us. But then on the other hand, it's the other people that we come in contact with. Like, I think this isn't going to be one of those lectures, but I think if you knew what an indelible effect that we all have on each other in intimacy, what a permanent marker we leave with the other person energetically. I'm not talking like, communicable anything, but energetically, energy is the most communicable disease, right? But we have these patterns that it changes your energetic DNA to be on an intimate level with someone, whether you think, oh, it's no big deal, or you're just hooking up or whatever, whether it's that's you. Okay. But it really does affect you. And I mean, that's why I take it pretty seriously. And when I haven't, I've gotten really hit hard with how it can affect my sort of empathetic nervous system and also my sort of spiritual compass. So anyway, that's all I'm going to say about that. Like I said, I'm not going to use it as a I'm not talking about morality. I'm not talking about a religious sort of connotation, even though the Hierophant is here. What I'm saying is, the people that we get together with, and this, I think masculine energies know this a little bit less than feminine energies because we're the receivers, and masculine energies are more prolific. So generally, anywho, just be careful with who you spend time with. Okay, that's all I'm going to say. So I'm going to say you don't want to end up a shell. Okay. All right. But you know that. Y'all know that. I don't have to tell you that. Empress, why is the Empress here? Because y'all Empress energies. Why do you need me to tell you that? You don't. But just in case there was one person who did, be careful. Use protection, of course, but also make sure that you're copulating with the person that you want to copulate with. There's, yeah. Okay. That's it. That's all I'm going to say about that. Auntie Rose has left the building and cool, fun, hip Rose is back. Okay. All right, guys, do whatever the fuck you want. Empress, why is the Empress here? Other than this warning about unplanned pregnancies. The reason I use this deck for sure. Whoever needed to hear that. See, the funny thing is that a lot of tarot and a lot of readings that you do, that you listen to or watch or whatever, you don't actually ever know. I know this is a big cop out, but you know, like let's say, for example, that you do use protection. To be fair, and to laugh at my own joke, like you'll never know whether what I said about unplanned pregnancies could be true or not, unless you don't use protection. So it's kind of a hole that I trap myself in by following my advice. You don't know that I'm ever correct. You know what I mean? Okay. Guess what we have at the bottom? Strength. So big old feedback loop between these two. We're talking about sexy, strong energy. We're talking about opportunities. Animals are in heat. People are animals. It is springtime. The earth is ripe, right? And this is a very lewd and sexy deck, and it's a very lewd and sexy energy. I don't know what to tell you. Listen, there could be some times in which you feel there are barriers to your self-expression in these circumstances. I don't know why I'm feeling that. I feel like for one or two of you that's watching, you are not completely out in your sexuality. And I think that becomes extremely poignant and extremely important in this energy, of course. I'm sure it does every year. Everybody wants to fuck around. And if you're not able to break down those barriers and be your true self, it's got to be even harder, right? If you're not allowed to love and express your sexuality with the people that you want to express your sexuality with, it's going to be harder when spring is springing. For some of you who are in that situation, I think you're going to be able to get through it this year, whether it's coming fully out, whether it's expressing that side of yourself in real life. Like maybe it's always been an imagined experience, but you're able to have that actual real physical experience. there's for all the times you've held yourself back, it's almost like there's a karmic circle about that. Like the universe is tired of seeing you hold yourself back and kind of putting into motion a way to set you free. Friends are going to be incredibly important for everyone. As you go through this, let's say you're getting over a breakup. As you go through this, let's say you're fully wanting and making the moves to explore your sexuality, to come out, to be free, to express yourself in that way in the future. Your friends are going to be so important. You'll also figure out who your real friends are. Typically, I would say, keep things pretty close to your chest, but not now, not particularly now. If you have the opportunity to share with someone these revelations, these choices that you're making, and by choices, I mean this sexual activity to overcome heartbreak. Let's talk about it a little bit, but I don't mean in the way that you might think. What I mean is I want you to lean into strong feelings about it. I want you do whatever you want, but I think that if you're able to delve into the changes that are happening and the ways in which you're expressing your sexuality with your feelings rather than intellectualizing it, or rather than comparing it, or judging other people, or moving through it with this sort of comparison mentality, I think you'll be in a good spot. I also would recommend, you can do whatever you want, but that you be very blind to outward appearances. You're going to be shocked in this energy by who you're attracted to, where they come from, like what their background is. You're going to be they are people who you would otherwise pass by. And this is going to open not just your heart, but your mind, because you are going to realize what silly little shallow choices you might have made in the past, or how limiting your beliefs were. And now you can get past that. It's like it's like it's the frog and the prince, story, right? So you might meet some frogs and just talk to them. Just talk to those frogs. You never know. One might end up turning into a prince in your eyes. That's my advice. But again, do whatever you want. I think this is incredibly fertile time. I've never pulled such a sexy reading in my life. It's pretty insane. What else do I want to do? I want to do something else. If Cal would leave me alone. I want to do something else. I want to pull out this for those of you who are here. I want to pull out that 3 of Swords and just look at it a little. So I think what we're going to do is pull 3 cards on this 3 of Swords. I feel this personally, and so I want to kind of get into it personally and stay out of it personally, but for my own interest, I want to see what's going on with y'all. How's that? That's what I want to say. That's what I want to say. Why is the 3 of Swords here for these folks with the Strength card? Are we almost to the end of this? No, what I'd like to know is, how is it Three of Swords? What is going on? Oh man, the universe already knew what I was going to talk about. Okay. You thought it was the one. You thought it was the forever, the happiness, the dream. There was a lot of daydreaming on both of your parts, with you and your person. If you're in Three of Swords now, if you're feeling heartbreak, if you're feeling things are over, if you're feeling uh, depressed, demoralized, like your world is shattered, absolutely heartbroken, sad over a relationship, you both thought it was going to be at one point. I'm not saying recently, it could have been years ago, it could have been a decade ago. At one point, you both thought this was going to be the thing. You were both going to be each other's dream fulfilled. And together, you were going to build amazing things. But the problem is, somebody couldn't reciprocate. And I don't know if that was you or them, but they still feel like they still might feel like that. And that's why it's so hard to let go, because they still might feel that level of depth and connection between you. And they recognize that at once this was possible, but they don't see it's possible anymore. So I understand why you would be there. They weren't able to grow up. They weren't able to grow up and reciprocate the love. Now, listen, there could be a lot of reasons for that, but none of them have anything to do with you. Okay? I'll be Auntie Rose again. None of them had anything to do with you. If anything, the reason that they tried is because of you. But you were also very unexpected. Okay. So now, what do? We get our shit together. It's not a pity party anymore. And we take advantage of the springtime. Take advantage of the people who want to also be in our lives. We take advantage of the people who are not advantage, but we take advantage of the energy. And in the energy, there are people who want to give us back everything that we are giving them. And it might not be the first person that you meet, might not be the second or the third or the fifth, but eventually you will meet someone who will give you back even more than you put out there, and who will love you for you. And you won't feel like you need to change or do anything different other than be yourself. That person is out there. Don't be confused. Don't get yourself all in a cynical frame point because other people haven't found their person yet, or other people thought they had their person and then they got divorced. Don't fall into that trap. You're going to manifest exactly what you think. So what do you want to think? What do you want to happen? That's the important part. I hope that helped. I just hate to see a Three of Swords. I hate to see it. I've been there, done that. I know. We'll always do that. Our whole life is a potential Three of Swords. Okay? So if you're up for it, let down your guard. Soften up those edges. The thing is, I'm going to give you a really weird visual, but it came to me. That heart is very solid and stiff like a stone, right? And that keeps the swords lodged in. And as sort of an analogy, I'd like to suggest that if the heart were to soften and open and give space to those swords, they'd fall right out. And then the heart could heal. You really do have to open your heart wider and be more accepting of yourself, the other person, what you tried to do, what didn't work, and people for the future before your heart is going to heal. And I know it's hard. I know. But it's possible for everybody. And you're going to be so much stronger when it's over, because the whole cycle gets to start again. And who knows, maybe you won't be heartbroken the next time around. Find somebody who will give you the love that you deserve, who's emotionally available. Okay. Dang, that is a 3-card reading and then some. I just love it because I just want to sit in this energy because it's very, very sexy and very, very necessary. All right, get out there, y'all. Get out there. Have some fun. Enjoy being a human on this planet. Okay.